I once heard a really powerful saying, and it was something along the lines of nothing good happens between midnight and 5 a.m. And I'm not sure if that's the exact numbers, I'm not sure if that's the exact phraseology, right? But to a large extent, this is a powerful message, and this is something which I think we need to actually discuss here on a video. Nothing good happens between the hours, and I'm going to say between midnight and really 4 a.m. Now, it's quite funny because, and I've just filmed a video about this, over the last couple of weeks, I've been waking up quite early, about 6, 7, 7:30, something like that, at the very latest, maybe 9. And of course, I am a business owner, I work for myself, so managing that time is perhaps different to how someone in a 9 to 5 would. If you work a 9 to 5, you might say, well, duh, of course you wake up early. But then you've got waking up at 5, waking up at 6, all these different hours that you can wake up. But I've been doing this for about 2 or 3 weeks now. And I was out just last night. I got invited out with a friend. And this was in the night time. Maybe let's say 11 o'clock at night, go home at like 4. Okay, something like that. And this was in the local city centre of the city that I live in. And I've not really been at night for a good few weeks. And you know what, guys? It is very true. It is very true. Now, people will be very semantic and pedantic about this and say, well, some good things happen between... Yeah, I'm sure some good things do happen. But especially if you're a young person, and if you're watching a channel like this, I assume that you're a young person like me who wants to improve the quality of their life and the results of their life. If that perfectly describes you, nothing good happens between those hours, and you want to be asleep for them. That's what I've learned, guys. That's what I've learned, and there's so many reasons for this. Now, there's, of course, the personal levels, and you guys will know this. And what I mean by personal levels is, you might be up in the house. You might say, well, I'm not on the streets witnessing all this nonsense, right? But then you got to think about that. Well, what are you doing between the hours of, let's say, 1 and 4? You may be, but you're probably not working on your business. I'll tell you what I was doing, right? Between the hours of 1 and 4, I was playing games, I was watching YouTube, I was scrolling. Just nonsense, right? Things that you just don't need to be doing or don't really want to be doing. It's a waste of time. And then you've got the external element. Now, of course, universities just started in September. There's a lot of fresh students, and I've been there, guys. I used to be a university student. I've graduated. And I did do a lot of clubbing nights. For those sort of age range, I thoroughly recommend it. I think you do need to go to some clubs. I think the people who don't have the bad experiences or the, silly experiences or the stupid experiences, like what a lot of things that come from clubbing, you're missing something, right? I can gladly say, yeah, I had the stupid clubbing era, I had this era, I had that, and that's good. But you get to an age, it's like, maybe I'm just getting old, right? I'm 22, so maybe I'm just getting old with it. But you do get to an age where it's like, there's nothing good out here. You're not going to find anything fun in a club, not really. Okay, I'll rephrase that. You're not going to find anything which is going to forward your personal journey in a club. Nothing at all. You're likely not going to find high quality friends. A lot of people go to clubs, maybe for hookups or maybe for something along those lines. You're probably not going to find a high quality partner in a nightclub, let's be honest. Maybe in a high-end bar, possibly you might find quality friends and maybe a partner potentially. But if you're in these like basic clubs, it's not going to happen. At the same time, you are giving away some of the best hours of the day. Now, I know what you're thinking. Didn't I just say these are wasted hours? Yes. These aren't the hours that you're giving away, though. The hours that you're giving away are the early morning hours, the most productive hours. Now, you may see the two as not correlating, but that's very obvious to understand, right? If you're going to sleep at 4, coming back from a club at 2, you're not going to be waking up at 6. You're going to be waking up probably at 12, at 1. Especially if you're drunk, right, and hungover, you're going to be waking up at 11 at the earliest, but probably not, right? 12, easily. You're giving up the best hours. The hours in the morning are the free hours with no distraction. They're the hours when nobody else is up and working, so it's almost like your results seem to compound in a stronger multiple. They're the hours where your brain is the most active. Now, it's quite funny, but, I wake up a lot of, and like I say, I went out last night and I'm going out tonight. That's fine. I'm not one of these people. I know some people when it comes to like these structured plans, some people are super, super rigid with it. I'm not super rigid with it. There's optimizing for early mornings, and there's optimizing for general life happiness and experience. Me missing 1 or 2 days every couple of weeks isn't going to hurt me. My personal view, right? It's not ideal, but it's not that bad. So there's that. And it's just quite interesting because your mindset just so shifts. And like I said, there's just a huge spider on the bin, which I'm paying attention to. A very, very big spider. Anyway, we're going to gloss over the spider, right? But no, seriously, I mean this, guys, right? When I wake up at 7, and I'm just using my personal experience, when I wake up at 7, my mood, my mind, everything is just different. And your brain's the sharpest in these hours. You may not feel like it is. Most people think, well, you know, I'm sharpest at night. I'm a night owl. Have you actually ever tried waking up in these early hours for a prolonged period of time? And people will say, well, I woke up at 6 for a week. That's not good. And I'll tell you why. You've not had the time to reset your body clock, right? So, for example, if you wake up at 6, you really can rough it going to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning every day of the week. That won't make you feel good, I'm not going to lie. But there's been times where I was at university or school or college, right, where you know you've got to rough out some let's say 7 a.m. mornings. You can still go to bed at 2 for a week or two, it's fine. Then you sleep it off on the weekend even, right? So you could actually do it every day of the week. But when you start to actually adjust your body clock, you start to begin to optimize this whole lifestyle thing. And maybe I'm just going really down a rabbit hole with my life right now. Some of you guys are going to like this, some of you guys aren't. I don't really care, right? But nothing good happens between these morning hours. There's nothing that you want to be out for. There's no money to be made, not unless you're owning one of the nightclubs or something, which, because of a high barrier to entry, you're probably not. So maybe you work a night shift. That's different, of course. But there's no money to be made. You're not going to find a long-term partner, most likely. There's no high-quality friends to meet. You're losing your best hours of your day. You're losing progress, therefore, because, you know, the two things do correlate and compound. There's not much point. And also, the view that you get on the world, maybe this is just a UK thing. I think it is, because I've been in other countries for prolonged periods of time. And this is not an argument for or against the UK. I'm not making this political or anything, right? But anyone who lives in England or UK in general will know that, especially on the weekends, the clubbing culture is particularly intense. And I've been to be fair, I've been clubbing in a good few countries now. But that's a kind of different point. The clubbing culture in the UK is particularly intense, and you see some, to put it very lightly, not the best things, okay? You don't see any of that on the day-to-day when you're in the real world. Like, you just don't see the nonsense that you see in clubs or around clubs or around clubbing culture. You don't see the mess. You don't see the creepy and seedy behaviour of people. It's not a good time to be out, guys. It's just really not, right? And I know I'm speaking about a more broad topic here, but seriously, I mean, if there's one change I'd recommend anyone to make, and this is, of course, something I can say just open-heartedly, just straight-up advice, and I'm going to say it as advice. Try a month. Try waking up at 6, 7, 8 even. Depends what you wake up at now. It depends what's optimal for you. But I'd just say that, guys. I'd say try just do this for a month or two and see if it does you any good. I think it will.